If you're looking to strengthen your culture, or if you want to pull people together while you're working separately, I want you to evaluate your values. In this video, we're going to look at what we've learned about company values and culture from working from home. Specifically, we'll look into how some companies have actually used this time to grow through their values and culture, finding new ways to become more of who they are. There are so many great examples of this, but today we are going to look at Futurice and what they've learned through this time. Futurice is a company that lives and breathes its values. It's a much-lauded Nordic consultancy that uses strategy, design, engineering, and data to help customers embrace digitalization and co-create their futures. Now, of its 600 or so employees, I had a chance to chat with Heidi Pech. Heidi is the company's virtual Picasso of employer branding and recruitment. And through our conversation, Heidi shed light on how Futurice grew better while working from home by finding new applications of his company's values. So, listen up and we'll learn together.
For us, they are really like almost the cornerstones on what we build everything on, and like how we do things. And a lot of the things that we have built were based on physical presence. Yeah, so now we had to kind of figure out like how do we keep on kind of really having these values at the core of everything that we do when we are remote. So care, trust, transparency, and continuous improvement. We actually call to every single employee to find out how they are doing.
Okay.
And to really just to have a chat and to talk to them like how is it for them, like are they struggling with something, and also kind of then we were able to provide them some kind of like individual support in like, and because we have kind of come up with several support mechanisms, but there's been a lot of communications going out, so also in this way we have ensured that that people really get the message and that it's kind of tailored for them, the help that's there available. Normally we have like once a month this Photo Friday, which is basically a meeting for like the whole company. So now we have kind of started to do that every second week, this mini Photo Friday via Hangouts for everybody to participate in, where our CEO is usually telling about like what's going on, and then the latest from whatever are the kind of the relevant people they are talking there, and people can ask questions and so on. And we have had this virtual water cooler all the time. So that's what we found it very early on. So basically it's this like informal meeting that's on all the time. So if you just want to chat with anybody, you can kind of access this virtual water cooler. We found it quite a few different Slack channels for different kind of knowledge sharing. So some of them are more like we have a mastering remote Slack channel, which is really to kind of like share best practices in, for example, how to workshop remotely or so on, or which tools are good for what purpose. So we have like different kind of sharing channels. Part of what we do is to help other companies in their digitalization. So for example, in the very early on, the people in our strategy and culture unit, they basically created this offering to do with remote work, so that they can also share with the customers like the best practices and so on. So we have this weekly survey, Pecan survey, for like to take the temperature on like how people are doing. And we have questions there around our 4 values, and kind of it's measuring the ENPS score on the values. During the remote time, it has gone up for each of the 4 values. Earlier, we had very much, a lot of our culture was built on kind of assumptions of being physically together, and a lot of the kind of the ways in which we were fostering the culture. So I think it's been mindset, but more in this, like, it is possible to give, like, a maintain and grow a good culture remotely. So I think that has been maybe the biggest learning.
So let's learn from Futurice's learnings. Futurice was able to get better in this time because they were able to connect with and apply their values in a new context. Firstly, they embraced the opportunity to think of their values, and by extension their culture, as something that exists beyond their buildings. As a result, their offices or buildings weren't bottlenecks for the company's culture. Not having full use of their offices only meant their culture had to be manifested in a different way, not a lesser way. Defining that different way, though, was something Futurice embraced. Because they valued continuous improvement, Futurice didn't just look forward to find best practices on how to work from home. They also repackaged that information to help customers improve in this area as well. So, Futurice was able to get better and expand their product offering as a direct result of applying a company value. Now, applying the value of care, Futurice reached out to its employees, making sure they not only were taken care of, but that they were also included. Inspired by their values of trust and transparency, Futurice engaged and listened to their employees, opening up new channels of communication and increasing the frequency of pre-existing ones. Ultimately, this helped to boost the company's cohesion and improve employee satisfaction related to those values. Your values anchor your culture, and your culture anchors your organization and your people, no matter what kind of working situation or external situation your business encounters. So, as you think about distance-proofing your company or really trying to make certain that your company can weather whatever crisis or change comes up, I really want you to check your values. I want you to check your culture. Because no matter what kind of superficial actions you add on or whatever kind of quick fix you might try to apply, if your values and culture are broken or inapplicable, in times of change, they're going to come out. But you right now get to choose whether they're going to come out as a liability for you in that time, or whether there's something that you get to draw on to be able to strengthen and grow. It's a decision and opportunity to go back better. Choose well. And by the way, if you're not sure if your values or culture are hitting the mark, okay, that's fine. Feel free to follow me or the hashtag GoBackBetter on LinkedIn. And what I'll be doing is I'll be putting out some heuristics that you can use to help evaluate your values as you go back to the office. So keep plugged in, keep listening, keep watching, and all the best in getting better.